Manish Tiwari, for a party which cannot look beyond the Gandhis, which is the greatest testament of unacceptable centralization and almost an oligarchic structure running a political party, in your case from 10 Janpath, it's embarrassing almost to hear you complain about the changes in the BJP. Why did you do that?
Well, Mr. Goswami, I don't think you possibly heard the statement correctly.
I heard it thrice.
Complaining. It's in fact none of our business. Well, in the sense that you should hear it a third time too. The fact is that we are not complaining. It is none of our business. We were just trying to point out the obvious, that there is a purge which has taken place. And therefore, you know, when you have a purge in a political party,
what do you mean
which
purge?
Also happens to
what
be
do you
the
mean
ruling
purge?
Party at this point in time.
Purge means what? Define purge.
Purge means a purge.
Purge of whose?
Don't you understand the word purge? The word purge is a P-U-R-G-E.
Yeah.
So therefore, in the Bharatiya Janata Party, they've carried out a purge of their senior leadership.
Right.
And they've replaced it, you know, by a new power structure.
Right.
So under those circumstances, you know, if it's just been pointed out that, you know, there is a purge which has taken place, rightly or wrongly, it is their business actually, you know, what they want to do with their party. It's not a complaint. It's just a statement of a matter of fact.
Right. Interesting. I like the way you put out the alphabets. There's also the surge, S-U-R-G-E, of underperforming dynastic leaders of the Congress party who never seem to be moved out. Anyway, Nalin Kohli can respond to you, because I find your interest in BJP structures intriguing.
Mr. Goswami,
Intriguing. No, it's okay.
Since Mr. Goswami, you've made that insinuation.
It's not an insinuation, it's an observation.
Let me rebut
observation.
It squarely.
Yes, not an insinuation.
No, it's an insinuation.
No, it's not.
It's an insinuation, it's an innuendo. Well, it is an insinuation. It may be your interpretation, but since you've made that insinuation, let me rebut it squarely. At the moment, what we are discussing is the Bharatiya Janata Party and the purge which they've carried out, which is entirely their business. Sure.
No, sure, please do.
You want to discuss the internal dynamics of the Congress Party?
Please
we'll do that.
Please
we'll do that.
Please do.
There is absolutely no difficulty.
Please do. But Mr. You see people in glass houses. People in glass houses, Manish Tiwari.
We'll do it.
Manish Tiwari, you see, no insinuation, certainly an observation. Nalin Kohli will respond to you. I will only tell you, people in glass houses should not throw stones at others. And the BJP rewards people who perform, and the Congress party protects the person who has led the party to the worst ever victory. Nalin Kohli responding to you. No, Nalin Kohli will first respond to you. Nalin Kohli, please. Yes, go ahead. No, you have seen. No, Nalin Kohli, please.
Absolutely.
Mr. Kohli has a right to respond, please.
Television is the biggest
Mr. Kohli has a right to respond. He heard you now for the first 5 minutes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to say that, you know, I'll try to put it more elegantly. Mr. Tiwari is seeking to put it rather inelegantly when he's using words like purge. I don't see how the word purge comes. We do understand it. We also know the spelling. Thank you very much for reminding us, Mr. Tiwari. But no one's moved out. A purge is when you throw someone out, as was the case with, say, Mr. Sitaram Kesri, a rather elderly gentleman, carried out literally with the chair. That was the first in Indian political system. Or even as we see, a purge would probably apply better to the case of the Antony report, which has done everything and simply tried to purge out the responsibility that would have gone to the leadership responsible for leading the Congress party. By the way, I'm not complaining. In your language, I'm simply pointing out. So, you know, we'll keep the debate on the same terms. I think the point, Mr. Goswami, if you'll permit me just one thing, the best headline I had ever seen in a paper was in 2003, when the Jagran said, Atal ke bhoj se Congress ke pet mein dard, which actually summed out what the thing is, and the one which I've seen today on Times Now, which says, Advani ji out, he's not out, and Congress upset. I think that Mr. Goswami is trying to build his political case on no facts, and he's trying to build probably his political career on something, on the basis of the politics of the BJP, rather than the politics of the Congress.
Mr. Kohli, don't take it too far. you can keep your political careers for yourself. I'm very happy being a journalist. You can be happy being a politician.
Of course, we know that.
And I don't want to repeat this ad nauseum, but I feel no interest in your profession. So you can continue to keep your profession for yourself, and I will stick to mine. Now, Mr. Kohli.
Well, actually, my profession
now,
is
Mr. Kohli, now, please. You know, as far as axed or not axed is concerned, you know, it's like saying that LK Advani chose to become part of the Margdarshak Mandal. I mean, Hartosh, this is another embarrassment tonight, isn't it? What Mr. Kohli seems to be saying is that and by the way, Murli Manohar Joshi, by the way, who was so upset when a reporter went to him today, Hartosh, that he almost broke the cameras out there of the reporter and pushed the mic away. Today, Nalin Kohli comes on television and wants to tell us that it was some kind of voluntary retirement taken by these three people. Obviously not. Should we put a dose of truth in, in the mix of Mr. Nalin Kohli's argument, please? Let there be a bit ounce of truth in your argument, Mr. Kohli. I can understand that many politicians, 99% will not speak the truth, but 1% truth is good sometimes. 1 second, Hartosh Singh Bal. Hartosh Singh Bal.
There's an assumption there and a presumption.
No assumption, no presumption, no insinuation. Yeah.
Let me speak if I could. Both these political parties, I mean, it's interesting to hear Manish Tiwari. I think the Congress, if they could find a way of making Rahul a Margdarshak, they would have done so immediately. As for what Mr. Kohli is saying, look, this is ridiculous. If this was voluntary, then the announcement could have come from Mr. Advani, from Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi. They could have spoken that they've come to the end of their innings in politics. They want to move and play a role where they guide the party. You see no such announcement. Though I must mention that there will be no sympathy for Mr. Advani. If you go back to the history of the BJP, or rather the Jansangh, what Mr. Advani did to Mr. Madhok is exactly what is being done to Mr. Advani by a new president, an upstart from Gujarat.
A point. Anyway, I will not. I don't want to cross swords with Mr. Kohli. I will only tell Mr. Kohli.
I would just like to come in
Mr. One second. Manish Tiwari raises his hand. Manish, look at it logically and not emotionally. The BJP rewards the man and responsible for ensuring their best ever performance in Uttar Pradesh. The Congress party protects the man who led you to your worst ever performance. I hope it doesn't get worse for you, because you then face elimination from Indian politics. The churn in the BJP, Manish, highlights more fundamental differences of approach between the two parties. The BJP appears to be more meritocratic. Two serving MPs have been phased out. A generational shift has been brought in. Congress party, it is the family, that, and not merit, who dictates who rules at the top. This contrast is even more striking after today, Mr. Tiwari, isn't it?
Well, if you finished, Mr. Goswami, with that long diatribe, which possibly goes as an observation, if not as a question, then allow me to respond. And the response is twofold. The reason why I use the word purge, because there's a deja vu to it. And the deja vu is that if you were to rewind to the tenure of the gentleman who is the Prime Minister of India today, when he took over as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, the first person who got purged was Sanjay Joshi, who was General Secretary, used to look after Gujarat for the BJP. The second person who got purged was Keshubhai Patel. The third person who unfortunately not only got purged, but ended up losing his life was Mr. Haran Pandya. So therefore, there's a very familiar pattern to what is playing out.
1 second. Now I get a rebut. Nalin Kohli rebuts.
Hang on, Nalin. Have they?
No, Nalin Kohli rebuts you.
Have the courage to listen. Have the courage to listen. I didn't interrupt you.
No, he wants to make a factual point.
You don't allow him. You allow him once I finish. You allow him once I finish.
He feels you made he feels you've said something wrong.
You allow.
No, you made an insinuation.
No, I let him come in at this stage.
You allow.
No, I'll come back to you, but I let him come in. 1 second. I'll let him come in. I will allow him to come in, and then I'll come back to you, Mr. Tiwari. Nalin Kohli, what's the problem? Why did you interrupt there?
By the same logic.
Mr. Goswami, I am not yielding. yielding.
No, because
I am not yielding.
Manish Tiwari,
Allow me to complete
like a
the
loose
argument. I am
cannon,
not yielding.
who has actually probably
I'm
nothing
not
at the moment to
yielding.
do.
I am telling
going
you
ahead and
that
making
what is
insinuation
happening
that the
today
Prime
in the
Minister of
BJP
India
in Delhi
is responsible for the death of a former BJP leader. We can have our political differences, Mr. Tiwari. By the same logic, fascism began in Italy, and we saw an example.
All right, one at a time, please. He's not yielding. Mr. Kohli, he is not yielding. Mr. Kohli, he is not yielding. I don't think both of you can speak together now. Yeah.
Which the political executive.
Well, I mean, Mr. Tiwari,
that's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Goswami. Allow me to finish.
So, I mean, this
allow
is
me
where the debate will go.
Allow me
I
to
will
finish.
expect you to withdraw that statement.
You cannot interrupt me halfway. You cannot interrupt me halfway. You have to.
Of course I can. If you say something which is so astounding and unacceptable, I would. I heard you patiently throughout, but you have just spoken about the death of a person and linked it to the Prime Minister of India.
For any's murder.
Well, I mean, you have insinuated, Mr. Tiwari, you can do anything you want. No verbal gymnastics are going to get you out of that.
Don't try and put words in my mouth. No, this is absolutely a wrong insinuation.
I'm sorry. If you would like to recall your words, you will find I'm making a justified argument, Mr. Tiwari.
I was not commenting on the death of a particular person.
Well, I mean, then there was no reason to bring in that example. We do understand as lawyers the important or the import of every word we use.
1 second, I think Manish Tiwari says he's losing the audio line. We're going to dial up the audio line once again. Touchiness at this stage of the debate, Hartosh. We'll get Manish Tiwari back. But I think the question Manish Tiwari doesn't ask himself today is, who was the person who was calling for youth to join the political system? It was Rahul Gandhi. Manish Tiwari, do you think tonight that this kind of fake aggression on the Newshour, fake aggression, 1 second, fake aggression on your part on the Newshour will take away from the fundamental issues which we need to debate tonight? 1 second, let me complete now. No, let me complete now, Mr. Tiwari. I'll come back. Let me complete. Who called for more youth to join the political system? Rahul Gandhi.
I lost your audio.
Who called for more youth to join the political system? Rahul Gandhi. Who excluded people over 75 years of age from the highest rung of the leadership? Is the BJP. The BJP manages to sideline the old guard, forces a shift of leadership in a young country, marking an organizational change. You have a family retainer called A.K. Antony. All the man does is blame everyone else except junior Mr. Gandhi for the electoral debacle. In a country burning with ambition and merit, you have completely reversed the logic of merit in your own political party. You think, Mr. Tiwari, people are not watching, judging, observing?
Now, Mr. Goswami,
please.
If you finish with your insinuations,
it's a question.
Allow me to, allow me to rebut you straight off. The man you refer to as a family retainer was the youngest chief minister of any state in the country.
Doesn't take away from my question.
Became chief minister of Kerala at the age of 35. He's not a family retainer. So therefore, please jog your memory, get your facts right about people before you start using adjectives like family retainer.
Well, I repeat myself. You can say what you want. You can say what you want.
Carried out. What I'm trying to tell you is that at least when you refer to people who've spent 4 decades or 5 decades in politics, have the decorum of at least recalling their political career and the fact that the political career has been built on merit. And now to come to your second point, all that I was saying is that if the BJP has carried out a purge, that's very good for them. I mean, why are you unnecessarily getting upset? And as far as the Congress party is concerned, the Congress party has an intrinsic belief in the Nehru-Gandhi family. It feels that the Nehru-Gandhi family has an umbilical link with
there you go again.
And
family.
Yes.
That's it, what it comes down to. Family. We swear by family.
Well, in the sense.
We are congressmen.
I'll tell you what is dynasty.
Family first.
I'll tell you what is dynasty.
Will you have a shot ever? Will you ever have a shot at being the Congress party president?
Dynasty,
can Manish Tiwari become the vice president of the Congress party? Can he? Is he not deserving? Will he have an opportunity?
Mr. Arnab Goswami.
Answer my question. Answer my question.
Arnab Goswami.
Yes, I know my name.
For 10 years, For 10 years, you had a person who was not from the Nehru Gandhi family who was Prime Minister of India. You've had presidents in the past who have not been from the Nehru Gandhi family. And allow me to also tell you, Mr. Goswami, the fact is that if the Bharatiya Janata Party chooses to carry out a purge, that is entirely their problem.
And
but
please don't, please don't,
you know,
please don't force me.
Margdarshak Mandal.
Please don't force me to lay it out there. Don't force me to lay it out there. Don't force me to lay it out there, the frosty relationship between the Congress party and Narasimha Rao. And the frosty relationship between Narasimha Rao and the Congress party, and the god-awful manner, the completely ungraceful manner in which a man called Sitaram Kesri was allegedly had to hide in the washroom of the All India Congress Committee when Congress party leaders wanted to purge him out. You know what happened then, so do I, Mr. Tiwari. My question to you was fundamentally different. My question to you was different.
I do not know where you get the bathroom story from. You know, possibly, since you used to cover the AICC, you knew its bathrooms better than possibly we did. And so, therefore, Mr. Sitaram Kesari made way for the Congress president.
I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he did. Distort historical facts.
I'm sure he did.
Please do not distort historical facts. And Mr. Narasimha Rao also stepped down for Mr. Sitaram Kesari. That was also not a purge.
I'm sure he did.
So therefore, since you've been a witness to contemporary history, you know, please do not try to distort the facts to make a show.
I am only raising questions because a man called Manish Tiwari. Now Nalin Kohli wants to respond to you.
Played itself out in
Nalin Kohli wants to respond to you.
Which is playing itself out in Delhi.
Nalin Kohli wants to respond to you.
For that pattern is
Nalin Kohli wants to respond to you and let him. No, I am only making a point here today that you tell me that I should speak about Antony in a different manner. I was not trained in the Congress Party School of Journalism, where anybody who has spent years in political life should be treated with a level of obsequiousness that goes against independent journalism in this country. Now, Mr. Tiwari, listen to me. Listen to me, Mr. Tiwari. I feel there are differences.
Being a candid anchor does not mean that you have to be insolent.
Mr. Tiwari, I am not being insolent. I am making a very pertinent observation.
It's time you recognize that.
I'm making a pertinent observation. Pertinent observation.
There is a certain deference to age which is there in our culture.
Mr. Tiwari,
and in your candor, you cross the line and actually transgress into insolence.
Tiwari,
I'm sorry, you're a friend of mine, but I have to say that.
Mr. Tiwari, and I'm very sorry that you feel that way, but I'll repeat myself. What many people believe is that is not an accountability committee report, but a sycophantic biopic on the family that has been, to protect the family, that has been written by A.K. Antony. You can call me names, but I repeat that. Now, Nalin Kohli wanted to come back to the debate. Nalin Kohli's been waiting his turn. It's not between you and me.
Well, you can call it sycophantic, you can call it biopic.
Ask anyone.
Have you even read the Antony report?
Ask anyone.
Do you know what the Antony report is?
I know the fundamentals. Now, one second.
Nalin Kohli. Waving it out on television?
Nalin Kohli.
No. Why are you not waving out on television?
Nalin Kohli, why is Manish Tiwari batting for Mr. Advani?
Because
I am not batting for Mr. Advani.
Now let him
guess.
I have the greatest respect for anybody who's
really heading nowhere. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to just simply say, may I, Manish? I mean, I know you're in love with your voice, but may I just come in for a change, for variety at least, on the show, you know? Just for variety.
Less than you are.
So as I was just about to say,
less than you are.
No, why don't you then say something else? I can wait a few minutes more.
Well, in the sense, please go ahead.
So, Mr. Tiwari, may I?
For the pearls of wisdom to pour out of your mouth.
Very kind of you.
Go ahead.
Well, certainly, as compared to kind of the inelegant words and that you've been speaking, they might be considered by pearls of wisdom. Your view would really matter very little to me. What would matter is what the viewers finally decide. Well, I think I found it fascinating, as inelegant a word you chose for the BJP by using the word purge. That elegant a word you chose to cover up the truth when you said an intrinsic value or an intrinsic interest in the Gandhi family that could have been replaced with the word slavish. And I think that's what this debate has been all about. that the Gandhi family, without the Gandhi family, and as far as I'm concerned, I'd be delighted to see them continue as long as it takes. It doesn't really matter. We have no interest in the Congress party commenting on its leadership, change or otherwise. You may stay with it as long as you wish. But when it comes to the BJP, if you don't comment on it, perhaps there is no political thing to comment on. Because the Congress party is hardly going anywhere, Mr. Tiwari, and that's the basic truth. With regard to saying about, Hartosh made a point, and I'd just like to correct him about saying that it's voluntary. Hartosh, honestly, this is the reorganization of the party. And the reorganization of the party, or how we determine the party, anything, whether it's the parliamentary board or whether it's general secretaries, spokespersons like us, anything, all of it is not really voluntary. Each one of us goes up and says, I'm going to do this. It's how the party decides.
Why aren't you being honest about
any
it?
organization.
No, then why aren't you being honest about what Hartosh is asking
what
you?
About it?
No,
what?
then say
Tell
we
me.
are phasing out the old guard.
I'll answer that, sure.
Don't do this Margdarshak Mandal thing.
If you are calling it phasing out, no, let me just answer that.
No, don't do this.
No.
Don't do. Then have the honesty to say, then have the honesty to say, we have retired them against their will. No, Hartosh, you're
Mr. Goswami, how can you use that term when you have the Prime Minister of India, when you have the Prime Minister of India and the Home Minister of India part of that committee?
No,
so if you call that a retirement club, are you insinuating that we are exactly retiring?
I am saying, I am not insinuating, I am saying it. I'm not insinuating, I'm saying you have phased them out.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'm just simply saying, you have the Prime Minister and the Home Minister there.
But be honest.
How can you say you call it?
That's all right. Besides these two,
retirement.
Okay, Hartosh.
A Margdarshan thing or a mentor thing.
Hartosh.
And I think in keeping with the,
No, please, what it serves to, Hartosh.
The seniority and all of this, I don't think I would buy it that way.
Hartosh.
The question here is about how it was done, not whether it had to be done. Clearly, this was a surprise to Murli Manohar Joshi. I mean, I don't think he normally resorts to trying to break up television cameras.
Yeah.
He could have been informed, there could have been a courtesy, a gesture that this is in the offing, let them react in a certain fashion. All these are matters of grace, or matters of treating certain people in your party. Whatever I may think of it, I think you think highly of Murli Manohar Joshi and L.K. Advani. But that doesn't show through in how you've treated them recently.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that, Hartoshji, for the simple reason, when in the Margdarshak committee, and I've been pointing it out, you have the Prime Minister and the Home Minister.
This Margdarshak committee, no, one second, we don't go on about the Margdarshak committee so seriously.
But we don't see it like that. We see it as important. No, we see it important.
Sure, Advani thought it important. No, one second. Advani thought it important to contest from Bhopal.
Well, I haven't seen any footage.
No, Advani considered it important to contest from Bhopal. Did you let him? Murli Manohar Joshi.
But did he?
One second. Murli Manohar Joshi wanted to contest from Lucknow. Did you let him? Have you asked L.K. Advani where he would like to be? So don't make it look voluntary. That's all. Be honest.
There are presumptions there.
People are watching. Be honest with them.
No, hold on. Where is?
We threw them out, say. You can say we threw them out of the functional role in the party.
Let me give you an example.
We threw them out of any functional role in the party. Say so.
1 minute, hold on.
Say so, Nalin.
No, hold on. Why are you saying it that way?
How should I say it?
Hold on. You are presuming that this committee, or whatever it is, this mentor institution, this new body that's been created, is going to do nothing. It's a presumption.
What will it do?
You will have your answers.
What executive powers does it have? Okay.
And says, put me in this post.
What executive powers does it have?
As I said, you will see it with time.
When?
Well, I mean, you'll see it with time. That's exactly what I said.
No, who does it report? No, what's it? The Margdarshak committee is higher or the parliamentary board is higher?
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Getting into this, I don't understand.
What is this? Real politics or Alice in Wonderland?
Here is a mentor. 1 minute, hold on. What, Alice in Wonderland? That was more than a century ago.
No, that's what I'm saying. This seems to be some kind of a fairy tale
of the Congress. Certainly not the BJP.
Now, Mr. Kohli, you're tying yourself up in knots.
Sorry?
You have every right to criticize the Congress party for all its...
Mr. Goswami, may I come in for a moment?
Okay, quickly, last minute of the debate. I thought Manish Tiwari wouldn't want to come back, and I thought he ceded his ground, but he wants to. For the first time on this debate, Manish Tiwari actually comes back.
Mr. Goswami, if you know me, if you know me, I have never ceded. I may have yielded the floor but never ceded. I just wanted to point out, the charge of dynasty which you keep hurling at us. Why don't you reverse the charge and ask the Bharatiya Janata Party that Vasundhara Raje and her son is not dynasty? Prem Kumar Dhumbal and his son is not dynasty.
Answer this?
So therefore, when you make the charge of dynasty, why are you selective in your amnesia? Why are you selective in your amnesia?
Is there a Modi dynasty?
I will answer this.
So therefore,
is there
does
a Modi
dynasty apply only to the Congress party?
Is there a Mr. Amit Shah dynasty?
To the Bharatiya Janata Party? I have never seen you ask them this question.
Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, Mr. Rajnath Singh, any one of the presidents in that sense, only their people coming. Every president of the BJP has literally come up from the grassroots.
Well, I can recite the names of 100 people who've been presidents of the Congress since 1885. Your party was born in 1985.
Just because you are taking a limited
your
view
party was born in 1985.
Manish Tiwari.
The Congress was born 100 years before.
Manish Tiwari just destroyed Rahul Gandhi's argument.
Permanent reservation.
Manish Tiwari just destroyed Rahul Gandhi's argument.
In your case, it's a permanent reservation.
Ironically,
100% reservation.
Ironically, Manish Tiwari destroyed Rahul Gandhi's argument because Rahul Gandhi never says I'm a dynast.
In the sense,
Rahul Gandhi never says I'm a dynast. Ask Rahul Gandhi and he'll tell you I'm a hard-working.
I'm not saying that the logic of dynasty applies to the Congress party. I'm saying if you're making the charge of a dynasty.
I am not. Obviously, there is no dynasty. Obviously, Mr. Tiwari.
By saying and you're making a charge, you made the charge of dynasty. I reversed the charge and asked you, why don't you ask the BJP?
Of course there is no dynasty. Of course there is no. As I wrap up tonight, I have just one observation to make.
How can you ask us, Mr.
Of course, Mr. Tiwari, we are so sorry.
But you're not
we are so sorry.
Because that question doesn't make news.
We are so sorry. We are hallucinating. One second. That we are all hallucinating that there is a dynasty in the Congress party. There isn't. And Rahul Gandhi is a meritocratic son of the soil who, by the sheer dint of his labor, with his hard work, through years of sacrifice, has come up to the exalted position of Vice President of the Congress Party. Manish Tiwari, the question is, what's the Congress Party's problem? I thank you all for joining me. I thank you all for joining me. I thank you for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.